So yeah, I'm Kristy. I'm one of the Lymphoedema Physios in the AFR North Local Health Network. So I did my training last year in June. So I'm still pretty new to it all, but still learning all the time and still getting some mentoring and hopefully doing my level 2 lymphoedema course in June this year. So that will be good. I'd just like to acknowledge country. So we acknowledge the First Nations people as the traditional custodians of country throughout South Australia. We acknowledge and respect their ongoing and deep spiritual connection and relationship to land, air, sea, waters, community and country. We pay our respects to the cultural authority of the Aboriginal people visiting or attending from other areas of Australia present here today. So about me, you know a little bit about me already. So I graduated in 2010. So I worked at Flinders Medical Centre from 2011 to 2018 and then started here in 2018 when we moved across to Port Lincoln for my husband to do his medical training. We've first started in Port Lincoln and moved up to Tumby Bay and we've kind of settled there now, which is great. So I work 0.5, so 2.5 days a week across Tumby and Port Lincoln, but have travelled to Ceduna, Streaky Bay, Woodner. So we do everywhere, all over the peninsula. There is another lymphoedema trained physio in Streaky Bay, but she's on maternity leave at the moment. So I'm just helping covering her. So the services that we provide, as I said, to the whole AFR North Local Health Network. So we do a lymphoedema assessment. Unfortunately, we don't have the big fancy machines that Neil has. We do the simple tests, so the Stemmer sign, the pitting edema, circumference measuring. And hopefully in the future we'll get bioimpedance that will help us screen and monitor lymphoedema. Michelle does have an LDEX machine, but it's very old and probably on its last legs and they don't make them anymore. So so the therapy that we do is complete decongestive therapy. So we do education on lymphedema, skincare, exercise, how to do self-manual lymph drainage, therapist manual lymph drainage, and then can also do bandaging, garment, compression measuring and prescription. So we do a wide range, and like Neil said, there is a maintenance phase and then we do a treatment phase. So, kind of goes up and down in ways, whatever you need at the time. And I am prescriber for the lymphedema garment compression scheme. Aim is to get self-management of lymphedema, so you're looking after it yourself. But, we're here if you need, and if you have any, bouts that the swelling gets worse, then we're here for you. We also have Michelle, our breast care nurse, and we do have 2 compression pumps available, but they're predominantly upper limb ones, and we do have a handheld laser, and we can also provide referrals to dietitian, podiatrists and other allied health professionals as needed. You can self-refer to our service. You don't need to go through a GP, but they can refer you if you feel like you need that as well. So time to get moving. So, as Neil did before, you can either stand up or sit down, up to you. You've been sitting down for a long time, so it's probably best to stand up. We're going to point so if everyone wants to stand up or sit down. So we're going to point our fingers towards our chest, and then we're going to slowly open our arms out and breathe in deeply. And then open your arms as much as possible. You don't want to go into pain, just feel comfortable. And then hold for 2 to 3 seconds and then slowly come back towards our chest. So it should take about 10 seconds altogether, and we're going to do it another 4 times. So bring it out, breathing in deeply, and then coming back in. Good. I actually didn't watch Neil's presentation beforehand, so some of the exercises are very similar, which is great. And 2 more. Good. And last one, nice and slow. Big deep breath in. Extend those arms back and then coming back in. Good. All right. So this time, even though it says sit down, you can stand up. Just keep standing up. So you just want to make sure check your posture, so you know that you don't want to have your shoulders forward. Make sure your shoulders are back and down, and just that your arms are hanging nicely. And sometimes that can help is bringing your shoulders up towards your ear and then dropping them down. And we'll do that 4 more times. So coming up and then down and up, down, up. And physios, we think we keep count, but we don't. So last one. So if we always say 2 more, we're just guessing as well. So there are some balls on the table. So if someone wants to grab them and give them a go. So what we're going to do is either place the ball under your armpit, or you can just put your hand under your armpit, and we're going to do it on both sides because it's good to do both. So this is going to help stimulate your lymph nodes. Sorry about the spelling error in there. And what we're going to do is just going to gently squeeze under our armpit and then coming out again. So squeeze. Good. And back down. So what this is doing is stimulating these lymph nodes, like Neil said, to start to empty the buckets from the shoulder down to your arm. Good, and then we'll change the other side. 2, 3, 4. Good. And 3 more to go. Good. All right, and the next one, you can sit down if you want, but it's good you can keep standing up. So we're going to start with our arms out in front, and then we're just going to bring our our elbows and hands in. Good, and we're just going to do that 4 times. So remember, nice and slow. Like Neil said, the lymph system moves slowly. 4, 5. Good. Oh, that was... Yeah, and then we're going to place I put the wrong photo in here, that's not. So we're going to place our hands on your shoulders, and then we're going to stretch our elbows backwards. And I'm coming in, and then back out. And then we want to hold as well, once you get that movement. So try and hold for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And then this is where it's good to have a stress ball or a ball in your hand. So you're working your hand and your arm at the same time. So you want to squeeze the stress ball and then slowly come up. And then slowly let the stress ball out, and then coming back up. So nice and slow. Just remember, you don't want to speed these up. And 1 more. So yeah, it really should be, if you had the stress ball, as long as it takes to expand is how long you want to get your arm to come down. And we'll do the other side as well. Last one. Good. All right, and then there's some TheraBand on tables, so it might not be enough for everyone. So if you want to grab some, so you can still do this in standing, because the next one's standing as well. So just want to make sure you check your posture, so your shoulders aren't up by your ears, so drop those shoulder blades down. Have your elbows tucked in at your side, and then we're going to slowly come out, and then slowly back in. This is one of the lightest TheraBands, so it's quite light, but you can get harder ones that makes it a bit more challenging. So nice and slowly in and out. And last one. And then we're going to put the TheraBand under our foot. And then we're going to do a bit of a bicep curl. So coming up, and then if you want to make it harder, you can make the distance shorter to make it a bit more resistant. And then on the other side, just careful when you let it go. 1, 2. Make sure it's under your foot well. And 5. Good. All right, so walking program. So it's good to try and walk. So everyone sit back down. So you want to try and walk 15 to 20 minutes a day, 3 to 5 times per week. So initially you can break it up into short walks if you find it difficult to get that 20 minutes in. So, 2 lots of 10 minutes per day, or, even 4 lots of 5 minutes, just to get you started, get your fitness up. And, you can have a pedometer or a logbook so you can track your progress and see getting longer each time you walk. But yeah, you just want to make sure you gradually increase the distance each week. And then if you have your stress ball, take that with you when you're walking, because sometimes when you do have lymphedema or your fingers can get swollen, so using that as you're walking along to help with that lymph fluid moving. So that's our exercise program.